the training session. My name is Ravi and I am your trainer today. Today we will be talking about email etiquette. Before we start, let us talk a little bit of details about the format of the training today. The training today is divided in 3 parts. Firstly, the training. Please pay attention to the training. You would be required to answer questions on the training. After the training, you would be provided with 2 practice assignments. Complete the assignment in the class and submit it to your course coordinator. Thirdly, the practice test. You would also be required to take a practice test through Posto mobile app to confirm your understanding. For any question, you may contact your course coordinator. Let us start now. As you may already know, email is an important tool for communication today. Thousands of people send email to each other daily on various topics. Email is also considered as an official tool for communication. In most cases, slowly email is replacing postal mail, and all communications including communications from government are being made using email. In fact, email is also being used in some countries for legal communication. There are many advantages of email. Email is delivered instantly as opposed to delivered after some time for postal mail. Secondly, email does not require anybody to receive the communication in person. Email is delivered to the inbox of the recipient, and the recipient may open the email at any time of their choice. Thirdly, email supports attachment. You may attach any kind of files with an email. For example, you may easily send photos of your last road trip to your friends using email. You may send official documents, such as appointment letter, status report, etc. through email. In fact, it is also possible to send large files, including video, using an email. However, most of the major email providers, though, do not allow sending large files using attachment. To send an email, you need an email provider. You would also need an email client that would connect to the provider and facilitate the process of sending emails and receiving emails. There are many ways to do this. For example, any web-based online provider, such as Gmail or Hotmail, provides a web-based client that would connect to their server to send and receive emails. So as an user, you just open your browser, visit a particular page, such as gmail.com, and you can view your emails and send emails as well. However, there are many providers who do not provide online tool. There are many offline tools available that can be used as third-party email client to access any email provider, including Gmail and Hotmail. For example, Microsoft Outlook is an offline email client. Similarly, Mozilla Thunderbird is also an offline email tool. There are many such email clients available in Internet. Some of them might be free, some of them might be paid. Regardless, you can use any of these tools to connect to any provider, including Gmail and Hotmail or any other provider. The connection is done through something called email connection setting. Once the connection settings are configured in the email client, you may send and receive emails through the client without using any of the online website that you might have received. For example, if you don't want to use gmail.com, you may still use an offline client, such as Outlook, to connect to your Gmail account and send and receive email through that account. The protocol for sending mail is called SMTP or IMAP. If SMTP is used for sending mail, then the protocol for receiving mail is called POP. However, IMAP can be used for both sending or receiving mails. In case of web-based clients such as Gmail or Hotmail, no separate configuration is necessary. The client is auto-configured with the protocol, and you would be able to send and receive emails. However, in case of offline clients, we need to configure it separately, with the connection settings, so that it could connect with the server, and send or receive emails. Most of the modern email clients, available in the market today, have the ability to auto-configure. Based on the email address, it tries to find the setting from the server, and tries to auto-configure. This works usually very well for servers like Gmail. However, it may not work so well for any other custom domain access. Microsoft Outlook, for example, tries to find out the addresses and server settings when you give an email, and tries to auto-configure the account. It is also possible to send and receive emails through mobile phone. It works in two ways. 1. You may have dedicated apps from the service provider to access the account. For example, you have dedicated apps from Gmail or Outlook that will allow you to send or receive emails. Otherwise, every smartphone today comes with a default email client. You may provide the connection settings of your email account the same way you would have given it to your desktop client, and it would allow you to send and receive emails. Sometimes it may be easier to use the app rather than the default email client of the mobile, as the app would be having additional facilities, which may not be available in the mobile email client. For example, the Gmail client has many facilities, such as auto-suggest, which are not available in the default email client. The other challenge while using a mobile email client in syncing. For example, what happens when you delete an email from the mobile? Sometimes to save space, you might want to delete a mail with large attachment from your mobile, but you would still want it to be available in the email server. In this case, you would have to configure the sync setting in such a way that even if you delete some mail from your mobile, it won't delete the same from the server. Let's talk briefly about the subject of the email. The recipient may or may not be known to you. Normally there are hundreds of emails every day, sent from many people. When you send an email, if the recipient knows you, she might open the email, and read the email. However, if the recipient is not known to you, then she would not open the email, unless the subject is interesting enough, or unless the subject talks about some tasks that she was expecting to be sent to her. So we need to ensure that the subject of the email is precise, and describes the task in hand. For example, a subject could be, status report. A bad email is an email without any subject or a vague subject. Such emails are likely to be ignored. There is one more problem. If the subject is not precise, or blank, or contains certain terms, it is possible that the email would be sent to spam by the email server itself. Email servers worldwide employ spam filters to avoid sending spam by users. If any email is found to be suspicious, as per the spam filters, it would not be sent to inbox at all. So, in short, we need to be very careful while writing an email subject. The content of the email is equally important. The email should ideally start with a greeting, if it is an official email. It is customary to address the other user as Dear Sir or Dear Ma'am for an official mail. It might be followed by, greetings of the day, or good morning or something similar. Please ensure that you are setting the context of the email in first paragraph itself. The email must be short and precise, hardly people would have time to go through a long email. Respect time of the recipient. If you are expecting some action to be taken by the recipient, mention it clearly in the first paragraph itself with the deadline. For example, I have attached the status report as requested. Kindly review the same and let me know by tomorrow if any changes are required. You may include 1 or 2 paragraphs subsequently to explain the context if required. But the email should not be more than 3 to 4 paragraphs. At the end, ask for the action item again, and you may also want to thank the recipient for reading your email, if it is an official email, and you are reaching out to her for the first time. Add your signature at the end of the email. The signature must contain your name, contact number, and email address, for all official emails. Now it is the time for activities. I hope that you have paid attention to the training. There are 2 activities for this class. Please complete both the activities, and submit the responses to your course coordinator. The first activity is, write an email to your teacher explaining a new concept on solving a case study that was discussed in your class. Please make it short and concise. If no case study was discussed, write an email to explain about the concepts that you have learned in the last class. Ask the teacher to review the same, and confirm your understanding. For activity 2, write an email to a company, explaining the fest you are organizing, and asking them for sponsorship. Please explain the details of the program, and how the company would be benefited by sponsoring the same. Also let them know about the pricing. Thank you and good luck.